Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the Football Overseas YouTube channel, and welcome to the final regular season predictions of the season for the English Championship. Game week 46 has arrived, the final weekend of the season. All of the games, as we know at this time of the year, are played on the same day, same time, and that day and time is Saturday at half past midday. So all 12 games kick off at then. We've still got some issues to be decided, which is great for us to follow. We know Coventry have got the crown and have walked away with the Championship. Absolutely fantastic for them. But who will join them automatically? Ipswich, we have to say, are following their excellent 2-2 draw at Southampton. That was a really good comeback. They were 2-1 down and with little time left, and they managed, and that would have opened it up not only for Southampton but for potentially Middlesbrough as well, a little bit more, because it meant Ipswich should have had 1 point less. So and Millwall would have been a little bit more interested as well, but they're interested enough anyway, as we'll see. So Ipswich got a bit of a great recovery draw last night down at Southampton. As we know, they've been in tremendous form, haven't they, home and away, so always difficult to get points off Southampton. I think the last week, a couple of draws and the FA Cup defeat just may have been a schedule that's got a bit too far for them, a step too far for them, but they've been absolutely magnificent in this last couple of months, and they have the momentum going into the playoffs. They're in the playoffs, obviously, and they have the momentum, I think, of the 4 teams that will be in that group. So obviously they'll be one of them. So what have we got then? Ipswich, as I say, they're in the driving seat. They, I say, only have to beat. It's not a matter of only anything in this league, as we know. But on paper, and I know it's not played on paper, but you've got Queen's Park Rangers racking up at Portman Road on the back of a winless 5-game run, 3 losses on the trot as well. So they're having a bit of a sort of a quiet end to the season, running the clock down, but they may well be rejuvenated with the atmosphere that will be there. It's a football occasion for both sides, really, to go in there, and QPR could be party poopers, couldn't they? They'll probably be motivated to do that, of course, and for the integrity of the whole competition, I'm sure they will give it their all. I just think Ipswich, as you'll see in my predictions when we go down the list briefly in a minute, Ipswich will be just too strong. I don't think they'll let this chance go. But if they do, who is waiting to pounce? Millwall are waiting to pounce, of course. They're on 80 points, 1 point behind. So they need Ipswich to draw or lose. And they win and they can leapfrog them into the automatic spot. Middlesbrough, they can get 82 points. So they, if Ipswich win, that's obviously done anyway, as we know. Ipswich, if they draw, the goal difference is going to let Middlesbrough down. I think it's fine. Well, it will do, unless they can get 5 goals, and they're playing Wrexham, so that has an edge to it as well, as we'll see in a minute. So really, it's Ipswich. Ipswich is to lose. If they lose or even draw at home to Queen's Park Rangers, then we have Millwall and Middlesbrough just waiting in the wings. More so Millwall, really. They've got the 2 choices, haven't they? So it's because a draw or a lose for Ipswich, they have a little bit of a better chance than Middlesbrough. So there we go. Millwall have had a fantastic season, 80 points, may well be 83 by the time they finish up. Fantastic. And again, they're going to be they're all going to be dangerous opponents in the playoff. But I just think Southampton have got that. They looked really good last night again against Ipswich, I have to say. A bit unlucky not to have held out for the match. There we go. We know the bottom is all done and dusted. So it's Oxford, Leicester, going down with Sheffield Wednesday to play in League One next year. So they'll have one last hurrah on Saturday at this level. And then a whole host of teams playing out the season. Some of them obviously will be playing 1 or 2 of these key matches. But a lot of the teams now will be just saying goodbye to their fans if they're the home team or even the away team. It's usually sellout crowds usually on the final game. I know Bristol City, my team, have sold one of their best gates of the season for no apparent reason other than it's the last game and everyone just wants to have a bit of a party, and that's the way it is. So let's have a look then at the games themselves. we know, set the scene, we know what's got to happen or not got to happen for certain teams. First game up then, some of these are what we call dead rubbers. I don't mean that disrespectfully, but they're just games that they're just going to go out and play football and see what happens, of course. The first of those is Blackburn Rovers against Leicester. I think Blackburn's home advantage against a deflated Leicester, who are amazingly going down just 2 years after winning the Premiership. Well, 2 years after winning the Premiership, but 10 years after winning the Premiership in 2016, they are amazingly heading to League One. So I think Blackburn will take advantage of all of that, say goodbye to their fans in style, and it'll be Blackburn 3, Leicester City 1. Similarly, Bristol City have had an okay season, I suppose. Mid-table 13th at the moment, can't go much further up than that. Playing Stoke City, who, somebody said a fact to me, they've had 10 consecutive seasons finishing in the bottom half, which surprised me when someone heard that fact. I'm sure that's correct. But anyway, Bristol City, I think, will probably force that to happen again. I think will win in front of their big home crowd, as I say, that's going to stack up. Roy Hodgson will want to sign off with a win after his 7-game stint, which has brought a few wins, a couple of losses, so just really steady the ship through the final phase of the season. Bristol City 2, Stoke City 0. Now, I didn't mention the playoff picture, did I? It's between Wrexham, Hull and Derby, with Wrexham and Hull perhaps being the main drivers, but Derby are just a point behind those two. There's really some interest here. So Derby have got to win and see what happens. Derby basically need to, as I say, to win and rely on Wrexham and Hull both not to win. So big ask, really. One of them may well win. I think they will. But Derby are there ready to pounce. They've just got to get themselves in touch. Had a really good season after their sort of first season, having got promoted last year. Struggled a little bit, didn't they? But they've really opened up this year, got themselves in a nice top 10 finish as a minimum. So we shall see. They're playing Sheffield United, who have gone completely off the boil. I think that's 22 matches this season. They haven't drawn many, to be fair, so that's always a good sign that you get wins or losses. But that's 22. I know they have that terrible start. Anyway, I think Derby will want to put the 3 points on the table and say, there we go, there's our statement. What have you got, Wrexham and Hull? So Derby will win. I've got Derby down to win. Sorry, I'm not saying they will win. But I've got Derby down to win. Derby 2, Sheffield United 1. Now, here's the first of the other two playoff contenders, Hull City. They're home. They're all home, by the way. Wrexham are home as well. So all three teams at home. And Hull City are playing Norwich City, who are scoring goals for fun. They've had a really good last third of the season, or last 2/3 of the season, having had that indifferent start with Liam Manning. That's all in the past for Norwich now. They can look forward to next year on a very positive note, which was what I'm sure their fans can't believe the turnaround really that Philippe Clement has done. So I think there'll be goals around him, isn't it? And Hull, to be fair, are having a real wobble just when they didn't want one. They could have had the playoff place sealed really, but they haven't won in their last 6. 4 draws, 2 losses. I think this will be another draw. I'm going to go Hull City 2, Norwich 2, which will almost certainly probably mean that they're not in the playoffs, but who knows? Ipswich, as I've already outlined at the top, Ipswich against Queen's Park Rangers is the match as far as the promotion contenders are concerned. All eyes on Ipswich, and then if they were to start to lose or not get in front as we go late into the game or something, then we start looking at the other games, don't we? But if Ipswich go and cruise through this match, then it will be done and dusted. Queen's Park Rangers, I say, do look. If Ipswich were to be asked, if Kieran McKenna was asked, go and hand pick a side, you can have any choice you like. I'm sure Queen's Park Rangers would have been up there, if not the choice, because they've lost their last 3, they've not won in 5, they're having a poor end to the season. Could you have scripted any team better to come in to play for a place in the Premier League? Incredible stuff. We shall see. I'm going to go Ipswich Town 3, Queen's Park Rangers 1, and they're my choice to seal down their place in the Premier League. Next up, Millwall. Now we know Millwall will be waiting to pounce a brilliant 80 points they've got, I think they'll make it 83. They're home to Oxford. Again, Oxford had a really good win last week, but to no avail. And when you do that, you think, oh dear. 4-1 they won against Sheffield Wednesday, but they meant that all other results meant they were already relegated maybe before they ran out on the pitch. So we have Millwall against Oxford. Millwall will again, I think, get the 3 points and say, there we go, Ipswich, that's our fight given, and they will take the points and move on to 83. So down to Ipswich then, put their money on the table, as I say. So Millwall 3, Oxford United 0 is my prediction there. Party time at the park, I think that's what they call it when it's the last game of the season down at Fratton Park, or party at the park or something. So it certainly will be a big party this weekend at Fratton Park. Portsmouth safe with 2 games to play, which was quite remarkable really. When you think a few weeks ago they were losing at home to Oxford in the bottom 3, it all looked miserable and done. And suddenly they went on a fantastic run that week. 3 wins, as we know. Clean sheets all over the place. A brilliant win last week as well to add to it at Stoke by 3-1. So they are home to Birmingham City, who have been running down the clock a little bit. They've lost their way as far as playoffs were concerned. So party at the park, I think, will be one big hullabaloo, and Portsmouth will win the game and to say goodbye to their fans for the summer. Portsmouth 2, Birmingham City 0, my choice there. Preston North End against Southampton. So I think Southampton can be forgiven and justified, if they want to, in putting a reduced strength side. There is nothing to play for other than the sort of shuffling around in the playoff group. Preston haven't got anything to play for either, so I don't think Southampton need to push their absolute first 11 out onto the pitch if they don't want to. They've got far bigger fish to fry in a week or so's time. So I think this will be Southampton going up to Preston, fulfilling the fixture as they need to do and must do, with a bit of probably a little bit of deflated feel about it, but they've had a fantastic run. Pushed Man City all the way, don't forget, in the FA Cup, took the lead quite late on, but Manchester City under Pep, they don't give up, and they want the domestic treble for sure. So I think there'll be goals around here. Why not? Go and have a game and see what happens. Preston North End 2, Southampton 2. Sheffield Wednesday against West Bromwich. West Bromwich had 2 points deducted, but thankfully for them, it didn't take them into any danger. Well, it took them into danger, but they covered it. So they're safe. They've had a really dreadful season, really. It's been amazing to see West Brom in the bottom regions for most of the season. They've rescued it with James Morrison just in time. Good for them. And good for him as well to pick up after Eric Ramsey's disastrous spell. Really wasn't quite in tune with what English football was all about, I think it's fair to say. So Sheffield Wednesday saying goodbye to their fans and saying goodbye to the Championship, and they go off to League One, and it's sad to hear that they might even have to start with a 15-point minus next season. What a shame. Just nice, isn't it, for your fans to start the season clean, whatever league it's in, and know that you've got an equal playing field. Anyway, what can we do? It's Sheffield Wednesday 1, West Bromwich Albion 2. I think I'll give West Brom the 3 points on the road there. Another game that is just going to enjoy the sun, I think. Swansea City versus Charlton. Charlton, big sigh of relief with their confirmation that they'll be in the Championship next season. They've had a really good... I know they've been flirting with relegation, but not dangerously so. They've always been within a win or two of just making sure of not being there. Their form has just deserted them a little bit in the last few weeks, particularly at home, which is surprising. So they need to work on that, because home form for sides that have potentially have issues about staying in the division, it needs to come good. So I think it'll be fun in the sun down at the Swansea. I'm going to go Swansea City 3, Charlton Athletic 1. 2 to go, and champions Coventry will be wearing their crown with pride, down even, at Watford. So not far to go for them, really, down the M1 or the M6, M1. And their fans will fill out whatever ticket allocation they've been allowed to have. Watford have gone on one of those pre-season runs. They got to 50-odd points. They've lost 5 of their last 6. I think Coventry, although they'll be relaxed and pressure-free, they'll want to sign off with a win at this level and go into the Premier League with absolute maximum confidence. I think they will. I think it'll be goals. I think all these end-of-season games will have a few goals in them, you know. What the fans demand a bit of entertainment, even if there's nothing at the end of it. So Watford 2, Coventry 3. And last, but certainly not least, Wrexham, as I say, who have got the shirt at the moment in that playoff place. They have 70 points, but even if they win and Hull somehow galvanise themselves from their poor run and have if they were to beat Norwich by a few goals, because goal difference is only 1 between these two sides. 4 plus 4 Wrexham plus 3 Hull. So Wrexham, obviously if they win, they'll increase that by at least 1 more goal. And they're playing Middlesbrough. Now both these sides will be, again, Middlesbrough will want to say, there's our 3 points on the table. Can you sort of trump that to the other two? I think it's going to be a tough one, this. I think Wrexham will be a full house, of course. I think they're going to squeak it against Middlesbrough, take their place in the playoffs, and they will decorate the playoff fixtures, won't they? We shall see. That's just my take on it. Middlesbrough have just got a couple of wins at the right time. They've kept themselves in that, but they really were the Ipswich of a few weeks ago. They had it in their hands. They let it slip through some poor results at home. A lot of draws crept in. So they'll be, again, a strong contender in the playoffs. All 4 teams are going to be strong contenders. That's why they're there. We shall see. So Wrexham, I think, will take the points, take the playoff place just from Hull. Wrexham 3, Middlesbrough 2. So there we have it, everybody. That is it for the 46 games. It's been fun going through these with you, and I'm sure some of the comments you've come back with show that the emotions are there for your team. My team's had a very average season, 13th as we speak, 59 points. Hopefully that will be 62 by the time we speak again. I will be back, of course, on the Championship run, because we'll be looking at the playoffs next week. I think they start on Friday the 8th of May, but I haven't got my dates organised yet. So that is what's coming up on the horizon. But thank you for clicking and listening and doing whatever you do when you listen to this. As I say, always fast through to your teams. I always do them in scorecard order, as I call it, so you can always go to your particular match. I hope I'm back next year, and I hope you all have a lovely summer. If you're not going to tune in for the playoff games, please do, of course, have your opinions on the playoffs. But the regular season is done. It's been great fun. Stay safe, stay healthy, enjoy your summer, and we look forward to the 26-27 season. Goodness me, isn't time flying? Thank you so much. One last request, if you haven't yet done, please like and subscribe to the channel. It'd be lovely to get somewhere near 1,000. We're almost there, in the 980s, I think, for subscriptions. It'd be lovely to get somewhere near 1,000. The lads that do all the work on the site deserve that number to be seen. It'd be great for them. So thank you very much. I won't waffle on anymore. Please enjoy your summer. Take care. Bye for now.